Okay, welcome to another Napoleon Total War online battle. In this one, I play Portugal, and my opponent, Cuffy, plays Russia. Now, this is the second of our two matches. The first one, he beat me in I believe it was a Britain versus France match, and I unfortunately forgot to save the replay for that. It was a good game. And here, I played as, Portugal versus Russia. So, builds. I have a very, very simple build here. 1 General Staff, 5 Cazadores, best lights in the game, each with a pip of experience, so they're even better. 9 Infantry, one of which has a tick of experience on it, and 5 of these really terrible Portuguese cavalry. My opponent, Cuffy, on the other hand, has a somewhat more complicated build to go over, a little bit more variation. So he's got, of course, his general. He's got three Russian Jaegers and one of the 17th Jaeger Regiment. He's got 3, I believe it is, 3 Musketeers and a Moscow Musketeers. He's got 4 Lifeguard Foot. He's got this special lifeguard, the Semenovsky lifeguard. He's got 3 Hussars and 1 Cossack. So let's see how this turns out. So of course, as this is developing, he does some sprinting out right away, which I kind of appreciate. I usually walk up rather than sprint, and in this case, he's kind of left an opening for me, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should actually start trying to... I start trying to run out here. I'm thinking, oh, if I can get into position, but he's not dumb. He wasn't being an idiot, and here he is moving in. So, even at this point, if I, got my cav there, it'd be too late by the time they got there. Regardless, he's kind of doing trying to envelop maneuver here, doing minimal coverage for his lights, and spreading them out rather than grouping them in a tight formation. As you see, I kind of do the opposite with mine, as I often do. Form kind of a, very tight grouping to do maximum damage. And we start trading these shots. So yeah, let's just take a look at how that goes. Pretty well, yeah. Now if I remember right, I may, bringing my general up here to help with that. And I'm happy to just trade skirmisher fire with him. That's something I'll do all day long. But regardless, I bring my general into buff up. I might, if I remember right, put in a Inspire unit on one of these. I don't know. And here I just start bringing... well, he's under attack, but that's fine. And kind of here, I don't want to have to fight his lifeguards too much, but I see he's trying to bring them in to support the light battle. So that's his move, and I make my counter move. And you see me kind of dithering about with my cav. In this case, when he does that, is that my cav moving back here as a response, as well as moving my line up to take some flanking fire on him. And now here, I think his lights are a bit too close to his line. You see his Moscow Musketeers haven't participated in the battle, and they're already really torn to shreds. Or not to shreds, you say, but they're hurt. So I'm kind of just... here, bringing my cab up to be ready, and I've got my flanking fire going on his lifeguards, and here, because it was an oblique angle, you see my infantry are trading fire with his Semenovsky lifeguard. Not what I really want them to be doing. Here, I try to charge his lifeguards. They form square, so I try to redirect to his Moscow Musketeers, and... but my cav mostly get caught up on the square and run away, but that's fine. Oh, and here I charged the lights that he had kind of at this angle, and then try to charge through, and that goes pretty well. Wish I would have shown you that, but I forgot to do it. And it worked pretty well. I mean, on here, yeah, so he charged his lifeguards into my infantry. I'm missing all sorts of things today. And destroyed them, and I tried to charge my cav, and they kind of went across the line of fire here, and a bunch of them died, and it didn't go so well. So here I am kind of readjusting my cav. I've really completely broken his center at this point, and I'm just kind of keeping my Portuguese cavalry to, make the routers into permanent routers if I can, while pulling back the weaker part of my line, or rather, the relative weaker part of my line. It's the same strength as the rest, really, but he's got the strong guys there. And I've moved up this guy a little bit to take good shots at that square. And that goes pretty well for me. And here, of course, he's moving his cav, responding to mine rather than making his own move. So I decided at this point, I've broken the center, I can kind of just do a holding maneuver here, retreat back, and bring my lights just into a super tight bunch onto the flanks of this flank. And that's, I think, probably one of my better moves. And here I was trying to pull my cav back. I don't remember if they make it or not. And here he kind of sees that my lights are doing what they're doing. And he gets a good charge, so good for him. But his cav really bunched up like that. They take some serious damage. I try to run away. My light's a little too late there. And yeah, some of them start routing. But that's okay. And here he tries to do a charge, I believe, with his musketeers. Oh yeah, he tried to do another charge here, and with his elite guards, and between my infantry and my cav, I destroyed them, so that went well. Get these guys into square on either side, so that if the cav try any funny business, they die. And here, he starts trying to retreat these musketeers, or maybe charge these guys instead. I don't know. He doesn't really he seems to be pretty disorganized at this point. I think I've thrown him off. And at this point, of course, he's got to try to move in with his lifeguard foot, where he has theoretically the advantage. I'm okay with him doing that at this point. I've broken the center, I've broken most of his left. Shooting the routing troops right now, maybe a few of the bullets hitting the actual still got here guys. And he's managed to, break 3 of my skirmishers, and some of my cav with that charge. I think that's a fair trade for me. So, while they're fighting here, I kind of just form a flank and charge into his undermanned lifeguard foot that can't form a square, and destroy it. And yeah, my infantry's kind of melting away at this point, but now he has to... These guys can't be in square because I've nicked them a little bit. The other two do form square, maybe a bit prematurely, because, they're not really threatened yet, and yeah, he realizes that and gets out of square. Here, I defeat this regiment, and now I have basically my entire army against just one of his wings. So while these cav are fighting, I pull back. He takes some shots at these, I pull them back. These cav just kind of form a sacrifice to, tie up his lifeguards a little bit. And while I get the rest of my line into position. And you see here, he's staying to the end, very bravely, which is good. I recently played a great match against someone I was gonna be super excited to show you, but then he pulled the plug when it was clear he was going to lose, and I wasn't live recording because I don't generally do that. I don't want to focus on commentating while I'm playing the match. I just want to play the match, and then, afterwards, when I don't need my, full attention on just trying to beat the other guy, I can do commentary like this. But yeah, at this point, it's clearly a mop-up. And I decided to just start off using my lights, because, they're gonna be something that he has to respond to. And I think he just, he accepts defeat and does a bayonet charge, and I let it, you know, given that he's charging with lifeguards, Russian lifeguards especially, I let him go most of the way on his own, taking fire before I get into melee. I don't remember if I countercharged last second or just, which I probably should do, or no, yeah, I just let him charge into my ranks. But at this point, I mean, yeah, you know, it's pretty much over. And I'm not gonna fault him for his bravery there, though. And at this point, yeah, I just kind of merged the rest of my units into the press of men and keep some of them here, because whatever. And these guys, they do this weird pathfinding thing, trying to keep their formation, I guess. But yeah, and the lifeguard foot still think they're winning, but I mean, look, there's no way they're just gonna win against that many, and even if they did, I have a whole bunch left. And yeah, he valiantly charges his general's staff in. You know, they try to do good for Mother Russia. But yeah, and I have reserves, so I let my cazadores shoot at them, and here my cav just kind of charge into the fray as well. And my general leads from the back and just stands over here and inspires them. Alright, and then there's these guys. He almost gets a surprise rear charge on my men. But I noticed at the very last second, I believe. And yeah, turn around and charge him. Nice try though, you know. So yeah, this guy, Cuffy, great opponent. 2 great games. Wish I would have saved the other replay. He narrowly beat me. And here's one where, you know, I beat him by a bit. So 2 great games for my opponent, Cuffy. Hope to see you on the field again someday.